What's a dirty secret that Nikon isn't telling you? Now, people think I'm jumping on Nikon, but I'm not. Canon's pulling this. Canon's actually been pulling it for a lot longer than Nikon has. Canon has been pulling this nonsense also. Here's the big secret about lenses, okay? As I've told you before in another video, there is this imaginary line, except it's not imaginary. Everything below 28 millimeters, straight out the books, because to get really good corner-to-corner low distortion images on the wides and the ultra-wides, everything's out the window. High element count lenses, you know, like the new Nikkor 20mm f1.8G, the 24mm f1.8G. Those lenses are incredible. Yes, they are made in China. Yes, they are made in plastic. Out of plastic, the outer casing. No big deal. You're not hammering nails with your lenses, right? You know, I'm not all down about Chinese Nikkor lenses. Those lenses are $800. Not too bad. Here's the point. See, Nikon is playing you for a fool, but not really. But they are. They are playing you for a fool. What Nikon is doing, as I told you also in a prior video, the reason that they're redesigning some lenses, not every lens should have a spectrum of purpose, right? Now, this lens is a screw drive lens. You can see right here it's been discontinued by Nikon. It's on Amazon site. You can get this lens like used on eBay for $800, new. They still got it in stock, it says, for $1,200. This lens, made in Japan, it's made the old-fashioned way. This is some tough crap, in a good way. This is the good stuff. This lens will just pound the piss. It will just rip the head off and scat down the neck of the new Nikkor 105mm f1.4 all day long. The bokeh alone. Anybody's pictures you look at from this lens, not my premise, you'll see the swirly bokeh, you'll see the cat's eye bokeh. This lens beats both of them. So you see, since I don't sell this lens or the other lens, and I don't make a penny off of whatever you buy, you see my motive here? My motive is actually to be helpful. Oh no, it's to drive traffic to your site. Yeah, sure, that must be it, huh? Now here's the great thing about prime lenses. You know, all these decades people are like, oh, you know, prime versus zoom, prime versus zoom. Now, Nikon and the rest of these people, Canon, apparently they think you're an idiot. And you see, now it doesn't matter anymore because all the lenses are being redesigned out of plastic, made in Southeast Asia, and they're still keeping the same high prices, which means that Nikon and Canon are pocketing the difference in labor costs between, I can guarantee you the labor cost on this sucker was pretty damn high. Made in Japan? Yeah, I know it was compared to made in China. Oh God, absolutely. And metal versus plastic? Yeah. Big difference in production cost, big difference in labor cost, meaning more profits, which they don't take the cost drop and like lower the price of the lens. No, they keep it the same or higher. They take the profit difference and stick it in their pocket. That's fine, that's business, right? But Nikon thinks you're an idiot. Because now we all know that zoom lenses have a lot of elements and we just have to live with it. If you want to deal with the zoom lens, which I have like on this Fuji, you deal with it. It's got a lot of elements in it, but it's a zoom and it's handy. The point of a prime lens is to not rape it. Yeah, I used a horrible word. Molest it of all of its really good qualities. This is a 6-element prime lens. This is silk, sex, and sugar. This is a bucket of tits. It is a rainbow of awesome with a unicorn and a pot of gold at the other end. Perfection. Okay? Anybody with 2 brain cells that knows anything about camera lenses knows what I'm talking about. They're like, I have that lens. You're absolutely fucking right. That lens is just incredible. That's what someone out there that's watching this right now. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. That fat, bald asshole is right. And I am right. But now Nikon thinks you're an idiot. Now they're going to improve these lenses, which they've replaced this lens with a lens that costs twice as much, but is 4 times, oh, it's way more than that, 5 times crappier. This isn't crappy, this is gold. So what do you think about that? $2,200 versus this $800? I mean, what the hell? People are going to get brainwashed into thinking, well, now there's no difference between a prime and a zoom lens. I mean, now, screw it, you know? Why the hell would I spend $2,200? Well, it's an f1.4. You have that really shallow depth of field in that bokeh. Yeah, you mean the really horrible, swirly, like you have your head in a washing machine bokeh, the swirly bokeh? I look at this picture, I get nauseated, like seasick, which I don't get seasick. But like you have your head in a washing machine. It's got cat's eye. Yeah, undeniable. Cat's eye bokeh, and you have your head in a washing machine. I got the test samples right here. I mean, what are people going to bitch about? Now, the people that, in their ignorance and stupidity, bought this lens, now they're trying to rationalize it and delude themselves that it's just wonderful. Boy, you can really see the swirly bokeh here. I mean, it's just all going round and round, the center point of focus. Nikon says that primes don't matter anymore, and they're playing you off like a fool. And Nikon isn't the only people that are doing it. And Nikon still does make, and God knows when those are going to be replaced, Nikon still makes some old manual focus lenses. Not many, the 55mm, the 50mm f1.2. Those are made the old school way. They're expensive, they're made in Japan. That's fine, people love that lens. However, f1.2, the depth of field on that sucker is razor thin. Prime lenses do matter, but now Nikon seems to think that you're a dumbass and that primes don't matter anymore because we're just going to make them a lot faster autofocus. Faster autofocus is neat, but you know what you don't need fast autofocus on? A effing portrait lens. Yeah, you see what you say, like, hey, move over there, girl. You know, when you're giving directions, when it comes to a portrait lens, it doesn't have to be fast, damn it. Oh, we're going to make this a lot faster. We've replaced this lens, which is really awesome, with 6 elements, with a lens that has 14 elements in it, and man, it looks flat and horrible. Even our own Nikon ambassador doesn't like the images from this lens because he photoshopped the hell out of them. They look nothing like the original. I've got the hardcore proof of that. Email me if you want the links on that. Hardcore proof. Undeniable proof. Now, can I get in that person's head? No, but I mean, the pictures he made, heavily edited in Photoshop, they look radically different and they look pretty good. But that ain't what the lens and camera spit out. That's what he did in Photoshop, which is fine. But you don't post pictures like that as representative of the lens. No, they're representative of his Photoshop skills. So if Nikon is going to treat its customers like morons and start making prime lenses that don't have any of the prime qualities, kind of like a prime cut of beef, you know? That is a perfect analogy. You know the difference between a prime cut of beef like a ribeye and a filet mignon and a McDonald's hamburger? Yeah, you can make them both taste the same if you process them enough. And if anybody thinks that light passing through, say, 30 millimeters of glass is the same as light passing through 200 millimeters of glass, then they're smoking crack. They're mentally ill, they're disturbed, and they need to be in a padded room wearing a straitjacket. Light is electrical. That's the same reason that solar panels, you know, you turn light on, the solar panels generate electricity. Yeah, glass is both insulator and specifically a capacitor. It has a known dielectric permittivity to light. And when you redesign a lens from 6 elements to 14 elements, what happens is that butchers the light. It is like taking filet mignon and sticking it through a McDonald's processor over and over again. Light has to hit 1 element, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's why the images out of this Nikkor 105mm f1, these are straight out of camera. Straight out of camera. These, look at this. This is, you think, well, that looks pretty. There's a milky haze all over this image, girlfriend. Okay? That is what we call poor micro contrast. Exactly. Yeah, very, very bad bandwidth. Poor color saturation. People over the cockroaches, over on the photo forums, they are hissing. They're hissing cockroaches. They're having a hissy fit because people are looking at other people's images from this lens. They're like, Jesus, you're right. You know, it's not like people are seeing ghosts and, you know, they're not seeing imaginary. You know, this is evident. You just unfocus your eyes a little bit. You can see how milky this is. This is straight out of camera, okay? If you want to molest it in Photoshop and Lightroom and make it look good, that's fine, but that's not what the lens made. That's what you made, girlfriend. Okay? This image is flat, dull, and boring. This is representative of that new lens. Nikon is telling you that you're an idiot. They're going to sell you super expensive prime lens, not this one, the other one, the one that produced this image, that has no good qualities of a prime lens. Welcome, Nikon. We have a new lens. Woof! The 105mm f1.4. It is an expensive prime lens with a really big f1.4. The front element is huge. The only problem with it is that it doesn't have any of the magical characteristics of that which makes prime lenses desirable. Prime lenses are desirable for a damn reason. What do prime lenses have in common that zooms don't have? Like, for the past 20 years, let me think. Let me stick my thinking cap on. What the hell do prime lenses have for the past 20 years that zoom lens? Oh, they got low element counts. Geez, they're really simple designs. They're designed for one focal. Yes, this is irrefutable. It's undeniable. Anybody with 2 damn brain cells can go out and rent this lens and go take the test shots, take a couple portrait shots, see for yourself. You see, I'm not selling the lens. I don't give a damn what you buy. I'm actually trying to save you money, save you time. Gee, who would have thought it? Somebody with no ulterior motives. Holy crap, he's not trying to sell me anything. Geez, while you ask for a $2 donut. Do you know what I make a month doing this video channel? Jesus, do you have any idea what I'm making a month doing this? I could turn my brain off, work half as much flipping burgers, and make 5 times as much money. If you think $600 to $800 a month that I'm killing myself answering comments and emails and making all these videos that I'm doing this for the money, then you are smoking something illegal. Illegal. Highly illegal. That's sort of stuff that you got to cut up with a razor blade that like Colombian drug lords like ship over the border in like plastic homemade submarines. You're doing something like that. Look into my eye and tell me if I'm lying to you. So you go rent these lenses, okay? You go rent the new lens. Before you blow $2,200 on a crap lens, I suggest you rent it for a day. And then you turn your brain on and then see what you can see. And it's like, yeah, this $2,200, this lens sucks. Exactly. And then what you could do is just a suggestion. You could save yourself $1,300 and buy something far better, made out of metal, made in Japan. Now, it doesn't focus as fast, but when it comes to portrait lenses, it doesn't effing matter. Because it's a portrait lens. It's not for tracking squirrels on crack dancing through the trees or motorcycles going around the turns like, meow. It's like, oh my God, the autofocus isn't so fast on this. It ain't made for sports and action, girlfriend. This is a portrait lens. Did I make myself perfectly clear? Thank you. Bye.